Hello, today I'd like to talk about processing tiny dust with applied energistics. One of the problems that many people have when they're using GregTech is they end up with a bunch of these piles of tiny dust from their industrial grinder, and they have to find a way to do something with them. So there are lots of options. Many people use Zycraft fabricators or the GregTech packager, but there's also a way that we can process all these little piles of tiny dust using applied energistics. So I'm going to flip my lever here, and my piles of tiny dust are going to begin processing and give me back full piles of dust. But if we look in our crafting monitor here, we can see that we are not using up any of our crafting cycles, so if there's anything else that we need to be making in our network, we're not interfering with that. And the way we're doing this is by using an interface and a storage bus to connect to a second network, which is only responsible for processing our tiny dust. So I have actually added a crafting CPU into this molecular assembly chamber just to make it run a little bit faster. But you can size your assembly chamber appropriately for however quickly you're producing these tiny piles of dust. Aside from that, all we need is an interface with no configuration and an export bus for every 8 different types of dust that we need to create, and then the patterns to create those out of our tiny piles of dust. So by using a second network, which has full access to the inventory of our first network because of the interface and storage bus, we're able to pull all this crafting off onto a secondary network where it does not interfere with the crafting on our primary network. And of course, you could just set this to always active, and you'd no longer have need for this redstone here. Okay, and one last thing to point out, you will notice that it is not exactly evenly distributing its crafts, but it is making it to all of them. And if we look at our crafting monitor over here, we can see it does cycle through them, but some of them come up more often than the others. And as you get through your piles of tiny dust, okay, and you see it's waiting for copper here, yet it is still crafting these other ones for us. So it's not going to jam itself up. But if you had this on your primary network and you were trying to craft something and it ran out of copper dust, then it could prevent you from doing your crafting. So thank you and have a great day.